Hey all, just made it to our first petroglyph site. Brought the whole family along today. Got Tori and Janet over there.
Tori.
Yes, I said Tori.
I know, Tori.
Tori, down the one wagging her tail. And Rocky. Rocky's always distracted. Come on, hey, let's look at the petroglyphs. This is a site that I've been looking for a while. It took me a couple of years to find it, and I'm not sure why, because I grew up running around these hills. But this is kind of a favorite of mine. We're in the Red Cliffs Desert Preserve, and this is kind of a interesting rock. You can see it's also got some historic markings. Guess we'll start over here on this side. Someone, hey, come here. SDH was here in 54, it looks like.
18 or 19?
19. The mine wasn't in operation in 54, 1854. You know, I'll come around to the mine in just a bit. This is kind of a cool one. It's got some patterns that are reminiscent of kind of blanket type patterns. It's also got this, I don't know, almost looks like similar to the Falling Man petroglyph down in down in Arizona. It's a pretty cool spiral, double spiral, and almost like a stream or something, but I really don't want to try to give too much I don't want to ascribe too much into what this might be, because we're always wrong. This little anthropomorph is really kind of cool, kind of a questioning glyph, but who knows? Who knows what they were actually thinking? And around to this other side. It's partly in the shadow, but you can zoom in a little more, get a little closer. It's got this incised, got this big dog butt in the way. Come on, Rocky, get down. This incised and pecked glyph.
Did you get the T on the right?
And this other one here. And this T here on the right. And it does appear to have some more patterns. This kind of abraded in above that as well. And let's see if there's more around this side. Does not appear to be. All right. All right, we were talking about this being a double spiral. Corey, hey, come on, let's go closer. See if we can point out this here. Go ahead.
So if you start at one end and follow it, it wraps in on itself and back out around the other side, which is really unusual. We don't normally see those. There's an interesting anthropomorph.
Yeah, looks like a Halloween cat to me every time I see it. But
No, we're not interpreting.
This anthropomorph figure, headless anthropomorph, or
Well,
maybe a zoomorph,
or a lightning bolt, or nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows anymore, and so we just appreciate.
And this panel down here
This one?
is really kind of interesting. This zigzag pattern there.
Which follows vaguely like the double wrap there. It's not really a wrap.
Yeah.
A double pattern, and then it definitely represents a similar pattern to this. Wow, there's a really old pet one in, isn't
Hey,
there?
come on, up, Rocky, up.
Or is this definitely here?
Yep.
But what, you know?
Let me see if I can
How old
hold
is
this
that?
in the right spot.
The dogs or the camera?
All right. So can you kind of point out that pecked spot, that abraded spot here?
So this whole spot is dug in. I mean, this is abrasion from whatever.
Erosion.
Erosion or weathering.
Yes.
But there's pecked area here.
Kind of that whole center, it seems to be pecked and
dug out
abraded.
a little bit. And then this goes all the way down. Wow. Oh yeah, all the way here.
And this one is kind of interesting as well.
Which is the one that reminds me of
Right.
Rwanda. And dog butt.
Hey, Rocky, come sit. Sit. Hey, come on.
Sit.
Sit.
Good boy. Wait. Good boy. Wait.
And you can kind of make out the abrasions on this one as well that I was pointing out.
Although those aren't pecked at all.
No, it's more of a rub type abrasion.
Are they sharpening their rock?
Who knows? Interesting rock though.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, before we leave this site, I mentioned the silver mines. Up here on the hill is part of the old historic Silver Reef mining district. And these were old silver mines from back in the 1870s, I believe. So quite a bit of mining took place in this area historically. All right, let's get ready to walk back up to the other featured panel here at this location. All right, this is probably the first petroglyph panel I remember seeing as a kid. Came down here probably the early 70s, maybe even 71, 72. And climbed up and saw this panel. This is one of the places that made me want to start documenting petroglyphs. And when we get up on top, I'll show you some of the reasons why. All right, so this panel here is really one of my favorite panels, probably because I visited it so many hundreds of times. Anthropomorphs. This cross figure could even be perhaps a Spanish carving. I don't know. Wish I had a better understanding of ways to tell. This train of anthropomorphs going across here to this rectangular pattern all seem to be looking like they're carrying things. Who knows, it could be pregnant women, it could be travelers carrying backpacks. I wish I knew. Down around here on this side is the first spiral I ever saw. And years ago, 5 years ago, we were visiting Chaco Canyon for the first time and talking about the sun dagger spiral. And after going and seeing that, well, actually we didn't get to see the sun dagger spiral, but we got to see Chaco Canyon. And I thought, well, I need to come look at this spiral again. And when I got here, I saw that this spiral and several of the glyphs here on the wall had been eroded severely since, from what I remember as a kid, looks like they've been graffitied and more markings on the wall. I thought somebody really needs to document this. So that's when I started my website with my collection of petroglyphs so far. This is quite a special site to me. I think the first time I remember coming here on my own was probably when I was about 9 years old, maybe 10, and walking down here 2-3 miles to come see this just on my own with nobody else with me. So, special place to me. Another view from the other direction. Really cool, kind of this anthropomorph and zoomorph here. You can see a little closer to the sheep looking figure there. Who knows? They're really kind of cool glyphs. And then the path down is not too terribly steep, but it does require putting the camera away and using 2 hands and both feet going down this slope. It's a little bit of a slope. A little ways down, there's Tori and Janet and Rocky. So heading down now. All right, next we got a couple of more glyphs here on this wall. Maybe I'll see if I can highlight them a little better when I get back home. And some historic markings as well.
The W there. I don't know.
The W, hard to say. I had a friend in town here whose first name started with W. It would not surprise me if he made that. And more along here. Looks to me like a tree that's someone historically carved in. So, yeah.
Hard to say.